Hi everyone! I am back today with our second Paper Person Pick 5 today, the series I do with Susanna. I'm showing you our 5 elements from our Paper Person kit we are going to play with today. So my thought for today's layout started with that floral paper and the fact that I didn't want to do something that was TV or movie related. And I'm going to pull in this pink paper, which is also from the kit. I'm going to pull in some of these cards, which I print out. So when you get your Paper Person kit, the cards are a free printable. I'm going to use that little heart stamp from the stamp set. And then I'm going to pull in 2 different stamp sets from my stash. These are both Catherine Polar stamp sets, or stamp sets I use quite often. I'm going to be stamping with Catching Rays, Pink Champagne, Aquatini, I almost said Quarantini, and Party Dress. And these are for colors were perfect matches for that floral paper that I wanted to coordinate. Here are my photos. I'm going to do 2 of them. These are pretty recent photos. They are photos from when we just went and got our plants for the summer and put in our vegetable garden. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my stamping. The kit for April is very much themed towards TV and those types of things. So all your TV, all your movies. I did a layout 2 weeks ago using that theme to create a page in my Me, Myself, and I book. And today I am going to create just a spring page. Susanna, who does this series with me, 2 weeks ago, she created a 12 by 12 layout that had nothing to do with TV or movies. And this week she did a spread with that theme of TV or movies. So definitely go check out her video, especially if you are a subscriber, because that will give you 2 really great options for using the kit without using the theme. And it also gives you 2 great options of ways to use the kit with the theme. Cool beans, right? All right, so I'm just doing all my stamping here. This little floral stamp, I decided I didn't need the door to my Misty. I just needed the bottom of my Misty to help me get good impressions with these small stamps. I'm going to do 5 of each of the stamps. So I'm going to stamp 5 flowers, 5 butterflies, and 5 of those little heart stamps from this stamp set. And then I'm going to die cut them. So I have matching die cuts for the flowers and the butterflies that I'm going to show you here in a second. And then for the hearts, I am going to have to go ahead and fussy cut them, but they were pretty easy to fussy cut. It wasn't a very hard fussy cutting task. So once I had everything stamped, and you'll see my pretty butterflies here, I went ahead and die cut them and fussy cut them. And now we have lots of little things we can use as embellishments on our page. I decided that I wanted to make a kind of wonky grid design for this. It's been a long time since I've done a grid layout, and that's what I was feeling today. So we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cut down the pink paper, and I'm gonna cut down the floral paper, and I'm gonna cut it down so that I'm able to kind of get some layered grids on my page, some layered blocks, and then I can kind of layer them on top of each other. So what I'm going to do now is I have cut down some of that pink paper and some of the floral paper to create kind of wonky layers for this grid. So the floral paper is cut more into nice square boxes, but the pink paper is cut smaller and kind of off center and more like a rectangle shape, not a full square. I hope that makes sense. So I really like the way this looks, and I'm going to start kind of deciding where I want my photos to go. I know that I have these little 3x4 cards, and I loved the colors on them, so I just want to have them kind of peeking out from behind my photos. So these are photos of, I think I said this already, but these are photos of our trip to the greenhouse. We take a trip to the greenhouse every year. It's one of our family traditions, and I always take way more photos than I need because I just love it. And my youngest son, he loves plants and he loves growing things, and so we pick up all of the stuff for our vegetable garden. We pick up all of the hanging pots and the flowers we put on the front porch and just everything. And we always have a really fun couple of hours kind of choosing what we want to do. So I'm going to use that 2020 spring card, and I'm going to use it and cut it down. So it's actually going to be my title. So it reads 2021 Spring, Too Enthusiastic, Thumbs Up. So that's going to act as my title. And those are two of the elements from the Pick 5. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get started on adhering everything down in all of my layers. So I am using my T-square ruler because I have found that the best way to create a grid layout, like the best tip I can give you, is to make sure your first layers are fairly straight. So I use a T-square ruler, I kind of line them up, make sure my margins are the same on either side, and then kind of get them lined up. Because if they're lined up top to bottom, really with a grid like this where you want it to be a little bit wonky, the side to side doesn't matter as much as the top to bottom. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start sticking all of these layers down. So I wanted to use this journaling box to add my journaling, but it has a little TV up in the corner. So to cover up the TV, I'm just gonna cover it up with some of the enamel dots. And then I'm gonna go through all of my stamped pieces, so all the butterflies and all the flowers, and kind of fiddle with them just a little bit, decide where I want them to go and how I wanna cluster them onto my page. And I can go ahead and add my journaling now to that little box. I didn't need a lot. I figured if I really felt like writing a lot, I had lines on that card as well that I could use. But in the end, it was sufficient for me just to kind of tell where we were. I have some other stories from that day to tell, but I have loads more pictures, so it'll be fine. Now I'm just gonna go through all these little stamp pieces and get them in place where I want them. So once I had all of my embellishments where I think I want them, now I can stick them all down. And I'm gonna use some foam tape, my Big Mama foam tape from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I'm gonna use it to add some dimension to each of these areas. And then I'm also gonna use like a ton of enamel dots. So funny story, there are loads and loads. These enamel dots are from the Obed Marshall line, Buenos Dias, which there is a couple pattern papers from that line in this kit as well. And I don't have anything else from this collection, just what was in my paper person kit, but it is a super cute collection. And I really love this pack of enamel dots. Like, I really love it. There's loads of them, and there's like these teeny tiny ones. Really, really nice pack of enamel dots. So I'm just gonna go ahead here, continue on, grabbing each of these clusters, popping up an element here and there, and getting these clusters situated. Once I had everything popped up that I wanted popped up and everything is adhered down, I'm going to go a little enamel dot crazy. So not really. So I'm adding just a few to each of the clusters, but then for this fourth grid, I wanted to have like a diagonal swath of enamel dots that kind of go through my title. So almost like a mini scrapbook page where you have a diagonal design. That was kind of what I wanted to create on that fourth grid. Here is my layout all done. If you have not checked out a paper person kit yet, I highly recommend them. I have been absolutely loving my subscription. I feel like they're just the right size and just the right product, and I've been really, really enjoying them. I hope that you all have a wonderful Friday. Be sure to head over and check out Susanna's video as well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.